This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Tuesday. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. To my right, it's Bodie Wells. To my left, it is not Bobby Carpenter. I know.
Can you tell?
Looked. I say, I can't really, like I had to do a double take. I was like, is that really Bob? I can't tell, but you guys look so much alike. It's Michael Bennett, former Ohio State national champion, joining us here now. Good morning, Michael. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. I'm happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. This is great. New studio. This is a debut for you in our new setup here.
It's fancy. I wore my nice clothes today.
I wish you would have told me that. I would have also worn a button-down shirt and tucked it. Well, I wouldn't have tucked it, but I would have worn a button-down shirt, though. I would have done that. We do have a big show lineup for you today. Morning Juice, sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. 2 hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, Twitter, and Facebook. Catch the show from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Download the podcast anywhere you get your audio. Big show lined up for you. Lots going on in college basketball, in the NBA. 10 TV's Jacob Reimer is going to join us here in the 7 o'clock hour to talk about what's going on in college basketball, because he's the guy we go to here at the Fan whenever there's something going on with college basketball, because he is a sicko and spends way too much time on it. Last night, the Brewers beat the Reds 2-1 in 10 innings. They play a second of a 3-game set tonight at 7:10. White Sox over the Guardians 6-5 in a walk-off. Second game of that 3-game set tonight at 7:40. Men's College World Series, Oklahoma 13, North Carolina 2. The Sooners won their first title since 1994. NBA draft goes on tonight, 8 o'clock. There's already been some deals. We're going to talk about the Giannis deal here coming up later on in Quick Hitters. And you and I talked briefly before the show here, Michael, about the World Cup.
It's been a good one.
It has been fun. I have watched more than I ever, like I said, ever have probably in any other World Cup season. I've watched more of it so far than I have before. That includes the 94 one. But yesterday, Argentina over Austria 2-0. I'm finally used to saying nil all the time. France over Iraq 3-0. Mbappe scored twice in that one. Norway 3-2 over Senegal, and Jordan falls to Algeria 2-1 there. In the Argentina game, Messi scored 2 goals and had a chance at a third one early on, I should say, that he missed on a penalty kick, on a PK.
That's what he's kind of known for in the World Cup, though.
Yeah.
Messi's incredible, always, scoring goals. But for a long time there, probably a good 15 years, he was known for not being able to hit a PK in the World Cup. Amazing,
too, with how talented that guy is. He set the World Cup record now with the 17th and 18th goals in his career, and 5 so far in this one.
Yep.
It's amazing.
He's the only person that scored for Argentina so far. That's insane.
That is. A big one today. England plays Ghana at 4 o'clock. England, one of the pre-World Cup favorites. And that goes on at 4 o'clock today. Panama and Croatia goes on at 7 o'clock. By the way, the biggest part of this so far for me, the World Cup, has been my 9.5-year-old son has been very interested in it. And I get, and this is no lie, I get about 10 to 12 questions a day from him on, hey, Dad, look this up. Because he's got like this printout. It's a very small print of brackets or matchups and stuff for the World Cup that is printed up. I don't know why. My wife printed it up. It's like a black background, so it's really hard to see the flags that well, and you can't really see what the countries are. Mm-hmm. And so he does this thing where he'll play out games on his own to see who wins. But every day I'll get 10 to 12 questions. Hey, Dad, which country's got the flag that is red, yellow, and green with like a star in the middle? We got to look it up then. So I'm learning about the flag. So is he, which is good, but also pronunciations of countries. He thought it was Panama. I had to tell him it was Panama. And then he said, like with an L, Panama. I said, no, Panama. He said, looks like Panama. Yes, I know it does already. I know it looks like Panama.
But it's technically incorrect.
He's not. It's just, but it's been educational.
Yeah, you can call it a regional dialect.
There we go. Yes, but it has certainly, much like when Cart makes me smarter here with Today in History, my son is making me smarter by asking me questions about why it's not Panama, and why when I pronounced it there's an L at the end, which I didn't think I did, but apparently I say Panama. It sounds like there's an L at the end, but I just say Panama then. And anyway, I'm tired of fighting.
Let's just see how he can pronounce Curacao.
Right. Oh,
see
yeah.
If that one's a tough
one.
Oh,
I still call it Curacao. Caraco sometimes. I do all. Yeah, it's like maracas, but it's with a C. So, Bodie, you're pressing a lot of buttons. I don't want to pre-shoot my shot on this. But are you ready for today's State in History?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Time to get Get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Wells.
All right, fellas. Happy Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026, the 174th day of the year. We have 191 days left in 2026, so about a week away. If I can do some quick math there from Coaster Bob time, right
Yep,
at the peak
that's
there,
about right,
until
yep.
we hit the back nine of 2026, which is very hard to believe, honestly. We'll start with some events here, guys. All the way back on this date in 1860, the United States Congress establishes the Government Printing Office. There you go there. On this date in 1894, the International Olympic Committee is founded at Sorbonne. Speaking of things we can't pronounce.
Sorbonne.
Sorbonne?
Sorbonne.
Sure.
Where is that?
It's in Paris.
Okay.
Is that, are you saying that seriously, or?
Sorbonne?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it's spelled S-O-R-B-O.
We had no way to doubt you.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
Could've been
Look,
right.
it sounds French. And it sounds, I don't know, Sorbonne could be right. I don't know.
yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure.
On this
Make
date,
up our own
this
rules.
isn't a very fun one. Here on this date in 1926, the College Board administers the first SAT exams. That just hasn't been a good time for anybody, I don't feel like.
No.
I mean, I understand we got to track and, get these kids in school and kind of separate them somehow, but I don't know. That wasn't a very fun time. I didn't enjoy taking it.
Do you want to hear how stupid I am, Bodie?
Sure.
Yeah, you pause like you already know how stupid I am. In high school, as a junior, we cheated.
Nice.
No, wait, but this was so stupid is that we cheated on the practice ACT. So
Did you ever take the SAT?
I did. I can't remember what I scored though.
Okay.
I took SAT, ACT both.
I only
yeah.
took the ACT. Did you take?
I only took the SAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So got it all covered here.
Yeah, so like me and a couple of buddies, because I hung around with some guys that were much like I do here, much higher achievers than I am, much more of a achiever.
Well,
I was the
depends
under.
on who you ask.
Well, yeah, I was the underachiever in the group, and so, but yeah, so like a couple of us, it's like, hey, I don't know much about history. Can we? And so whatever, like if something came up, we would communicate with each other.
How did you do that?
Yeah,
We
that's what I'm
sat
saying.
close to each other, and then we whispered. And we got away with it. It was in the library at Brookhaven High
I
School.
wasn't sure if this
no,
was
no.
like a Morse
Oh,
code
no,
thing.
no.
Like,
Right.
It's going to be a sophisticated cheating
We-
operation.
knocking on
There was
the
no cell
tables.
phones back then. The
No.
internet had just started,
There was
really.
not.
And so,
Pretty classic.
but like it was great because we all got scores because of the, like I say, I ran with a smart crowd. I think that I got like a 27 or something like that on the pre-ACT or 28.
That'll get you pretty far.
It would, but the practice one doesn't count. I think the real one we couldn't cheat, and the score was much lower if I remember correctly.
Listen, if you ain't
But
cheating, you ain't
if you're gonna
trying.
cheat
That's what
though,
they
why
say.
would you cheat on the practice ACT?
Well,
That's
you
the part
gotta-
that's
You got to
dumb.
practice the cheating.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dumb.
Listen, man.
It was a trial run.
Yeah. Some music here, jumping ahead about 40 years. In 1965, the Miracles released the track of My Tears.
You see my smile looks out of place.
I'm not allowed to sing, Michael, by the way, but I would.
Look closer, it's easy to chase the tracks of my tears.
Never heard that song, but
You
it's
never
a pretty
had.
catchy
That's a good
tune
one,
there. Yeah. Got a couple for you here on this date in 1972. U.S. President Richard Nixon and the White House Chief of Staff H.R. Hadelman are taped talking about illegally using the CIA to obstruct the FBI's investigation into the Watergate break-ins. But go ahead, Tito.
This one I know it's Halderman on that one.
Halderman. Okay, there you go.
That one I do know.
Thank you, Tito.
You're welcome. Bill.
On that date, though, as well, how about this? In 1972, Title IX goes into act there as Richard Nixon signs that into law, prohibiting sexual discrimination to any educational program receiving federal funds. So some good
I didn't
news,
know that
some
was
bad news
Nixon.
there. Yeah.
That's surprising.
In a way out the Watergate
right.
issues
Talk
there.
about that Watergate thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Listen.
about Title IX. There's no Title 8.
Yeah.
We're going to skip right over it and go from 7 to 9. That's how important this is.
Back to some music here on this date in 1984. Duran Duran tops the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the first time with The Reflex.
That had to be a great time to be hitting the clubs. Like you just vibing out to whatever that genre of music is.
I'm not that old. I was in the 7th grade when that song came out. But I will tell you, 7th grade girls loved that song in Duran Duran. John Taylor, bassist for Duran Duran. I say this as a completely heterosexual man. He was dreamy back then. He really was.
There you go, Tito. On this date in 1989, Batman, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, premieres in theaters. The first of, I think it was a trilogy there, right? Batman,
Yes.
Batman Returns, and then maybe one
There was
more.
only 2 there.
Oh, just 2?
Just
Okay.
2 with those, and then I think the third one may have been Kilmer,
Oh, okay.
and then
Yeah.
Clooney.
Were those still like more lighthearted Batmans, or those? That's when it started getting darker.
It got okay, so yeah, it got darker. The first one, like the first Batman was very known for the cinematography of it. Like it was over the top, I don't want to say cartoonish, but it was, there were some certain elements to it that where you watch it was much lighter than the ones that came with when Christian Bale were in them. That's when it changed a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, the Joker walking around telling everybody how he's got those scars on his face.
right. Yeah, that one kind of Nicholson.
A little
yeah,
more serious.
yes.
Next up here on this date in 1990, Elton John scores his first UK #1 hit as a solo artist with Sacrifice. And then I believe he's kind of like remade that song with Dua Lipa, if I'm not
has he really?
mistaken. Yeah, I had never heard that song, but I like it sounded vaguely familiar. I'm not
You a big
super
Dua
locked
Lipa
in-
guy?
I'm not super
You're a big
locked
Dua
into
Lipa guy.
But listen, you throw a couple of her songs on.
I like
gonna-
Dua Lipa.
I'm gonna have a good time.
Dua Lipa's
Yeah.
solid.
This is how we educate each other, because I corrected you with Halderman, and I would have said Dua Lipa.
Yeah, see, look.
go.
So
We're
now
all-
you've made me.
We
You've
got all
made me
the
smarter there.
generations covered here. On this date, 1 year later in 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog is released in North America on the Sega Genesis platform, beginning the popular video game franchise. Some more video game news here. On this date in 1996, Nintendo 64 first goes on sale in Japan, and then a couple months later would go on sale here in the U.S. Some baseball here. On this date in 2003, Barry Bonds records his 500th stolen base as he becomes the first player in MLB history to ever steal 500 bases and also hit 500 home runs.
Galarraga has hit a home run tonight. He's also grounded out and twice struck out. Bonds going, and he steals it without a throw, and that's number 500.
And that's when they really needed a stolen base, too.
Bonds uproots the base. They'll bring out a new one. The first man in the history of the game to have that rather unique double of 500 steals and 500 plus home runs. He had been the only one to have 400 of each in the history of the game.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Only got to do 400, and you know what? Let me just top it off. And let me just get to 500
Yes.
as well. That's pretty good there. On this date in 2005, Reddit is founded by a pair of Virginia students, Steve Huffman and Alexis Ohanian. I believe one of those two dudes are married to Serena Williams, if I'm not mistaken.
Ohanian, yeah.
Not sure which one, but
Oh, Ohanian.
okay, the second guy there.
Oh.
Okay, nice. So I'm guessing he's made a good chunk of change. Both of them
I think he's
probably
doing
have
all
off
right,
Reddit. Yeah, that's worked out pretty well for him. On this date in 2011, speaking of cheating on SATs, Tito, Suits premieres here, and on what was it, the USA Network? I think it was
USA
the legal
for that,
drama. Patrick J. Adams, Gabriel Macht, and then Meghan Markle premieres here in the U.S. So that's
Is
pretty
that
good.
what Meghan Markle's famous for?
I'd say that's her most famous role. I mean,
Okay.
until she married Prince Harry, of course.
Yeah.
That kinda
I knew she
elevated
was
her
an
to
actress
those
before
status.
that, but I didn't know what she
Yeah,
was in.
I'm not really sure. I don't know of anything else she was in, but she played a massive role in that.
Okay.
She was probably the third or fourth biggest character, I'd say. There was kind of like a main four there, and she was definitely one of them. That was a very big role. And that one she was like a paralegal, and then she became a lawyer.
Look at that.
Makes sense. Show about lawyers. So, and then a couple more here as we hit the 2026 NBA draft tonight. Had a pair of NBA drafts here in the last 15 years, give or take. In 2011, with the first overall pick in the NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Kyrie Irving.
Each team has a foul to give as we come up on a minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3.
You said which draft was that?
That was 2011.
I had no idea that Kyrie started at the Cavs.
Oh yeah.
No, did he leave the Cavs and then come back?
He never came back. He played his first
6 years, 5 years,
7 years.
7. He left at 16.
He
They
left
won,
in
and
the
then
summer of 17. So
Yeah.
do the math there on that.
So LeBron
And-
came and joined him. At the
Correct.
Cavs.
came
Wow.
back to join him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kyrie in college only played like 11 games for Duke the 1 year, and then got hurt and shut it down for the rest of the year and still the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, we see why now. Dude's unbelievable.
Sharks' favorite Cav of all time. He was so pissed off and upset when Kyrie was gone.
Yeah.
More than LeBron?
Yeah, Kyrie was his guy. Yeah, he liked Kyrie, yeah.
Interesting.
That shot there was, I don't know where you would rank it, top 10, maybe top 5 in NBA history, but it's on a rather short list of most important shots in the leagues in the association's history. And then last one here for events on this date in 2016. They maybe didn't nail this pick quite as well as Kyrie. The Philadelphia 76ers took Ben Simmons number 1 overall at the 2016 NBA draft. He was pretty good there for a minute. Then
He's
he kind
living the
of
dream.
forgot to shoot, and now he's not even playing basketball anymore.
He played like 2 seasons?
No, he played more than 2, but he didn't play well more than 2. He played 2, and then
He was honestly like really good his first few years, and then he literally had that game against Atlanta
where he passed
in
it
the
up.
2021 NBA playoffs where he passed up a layup, and it was just over. Like he went through some injuries too and whatnot, but I think the mental injury was bigger than his physical ones ever were.
He was a 2-time All-Star, and I believe he's got the record for most shots taken in an All-Star game history without missing a shot, or best shooting percentage. He was 13 out of 14 in 2 All-Star games, which is, you think of the shooting.
Listen.
You don't think that, right?
So if you don't have to just shoot free throws, then you can just go dunk and lay up because they don't play defense in the All-Star game. Then
he was in his two All-Star game appearances. He made three teams, but one he didn't play in. But the other 2, though, he was 5 for 5 and 8 for 9, 13 of 14 shooting in the All-Star games.
That'll work. On to some birthdays here. I didn't get any sound. I should have had booing maybe ready for this one, because born on this date all the way back in 1925 was Art Modell. A man who, if you're a Browns fan, you're probably not the biggest fan of him. If you're a Ravens fan, you probably love him. But
this leads me to 2 years ago. I filled in for Beam, I think, on this day, because we used to do the poll question, but we were responsible enough, apparently, or they were stupid enough to let us do it. And I believe we had a run of like 3 days in a row where it was like worst human ever. And we put Modell up there with it was like, worst human ever. The poll was like Modell, Hitler, Pol Pot, things like that. And like we would go through each day, we find it was Modell, Genghis Khan, Judas, like things like that. We would go through and do that each day until finally they said, hey guys, you got to cut this out. But like 3 days in a row, though, Modell was the winner every day in that poll.
Sure.
Or the loser.
Maybe a little bit of bias in there due to Browns
Could have been,
fans.
just a little bit.
Whatever. Born in the state in 1929, June Carter Cash, the country music singer and wife of Johnny Cash. More than 20 years ago, back in 2003. Some birthdays of people who are fortunately still with us. Turning 78 years old today, longtime college football coach and most notably head coach of the Miami Hurricanes when they won the national championship in 2001, Larry Coker, turning 78 years old. Record executive and the very long time judge on American Idol, Randy Jackson, turned 70 today.
You would have bombed tonight, baby. That was hot. Started a little rough for me. Tell you what, man, I love you. The day that I saw you, the verses were very pitchy. Verses were really pitchy. A little rough for me. I mean, you couldn't quite find the pitch. A little pitch problems here and there, and it was a very pitchy and little pitch problems there, especially on that little high note there. Little pitch problems, and it just wasn't really, it was just kind of boring. It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not there.
Do you guys remember when that really started, when American Idol really started popping off?
With yeah.
What was it, Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard?
Oh, I don't
Were
even
those
know
some of
those
the
people
OGs?
are.
I still remember
they
sitting
were-
in my
okay.
living room watching that with my family.
I remember him, Simon Cowell, and Paul Abdul. That was
Simon Cowell was that was a dream team right there. Those three. Simon Cowell was just
like
horrible.
Bird, Magic, and Jordan.
Randy Jackson was in the group Journey for a while.
Really?
Yes.
Know that.
Okay. I'll be honest. So last week when we were on vacation, one night we watched the new Michael. I'll say Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
movie,
called
yeah.
Michael movie, and so it was pretty good, pretty enjoyable film there.
Was it pretty like? Did they?
It was pretty vanilla.
Vanilla's the wrong word to use when you look at Michael Jackson's skin complexion at the end. But
it was mainly like childhood, his first stardom, and they cut it off like late 80s.
Did they show like the
before.
troubles of the childhood?
They
Okay.
Yeah, like his dad was pretty
Beating him
abusive.
up?
I'll just call it what it is. Like
I think it was Michael Jackson's nephew played him.
Yes,
it was
you're
like what
correct in
Tito
that. It was-
Jackson's.
I
no,
think it's
Jermaine's son played
Jafar.
Michael. Yeah, so
yeah, and he did a great job.
Did he?
The movie was enjoyable. Like if
Yeah.
you like Michael Jackson, you
Right.
enjoy his music.
Right.
It was pretty good. It was only probably a couple hours, give or
Yeah.
take. But yeah, they didn't get into some of the nitty gritty, we'll say.
Yes.
But I also, admittedly, learned that Randy Jackson is a sibling of Michael. I'd never known.
Wait,
that.
he's a sibling of
sibling?
Michael?
I think he's a half sibling.
A half sibling. Okay, yeah. He's
but
not. He's
still,
not part of. He wasn't like part of the Jackson
no,
5
he's
or
quite
Jackson.
big.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Michael's not with us anymore. How
Right.
old was he when he died in 09?
52 or something.
Yeah, he was
like that?
early 50 to 52, somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. Yes,
Okay,
he wasn't
so
old. Yeah.
Decent age gap though there between.
I'm gonna look this up now. Let's see
two
here.
of
Yeah.
them. I'll keep going here, Tito, and then you can jump back in whenever you got that. Turning 62 years old today, the filmmaker and comic book writer, he wrote and directed The Avengers, Joss Whedon.
Let's do a head count here. Your brother, the demigod, a super soldier, living legend who kind of lives up to the legend, a man with breathtaking anger management issues, a couple of master assassins, and you, big fella. You've managed to piss off every single one of them.
That was the plan.
Not a great plan. When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the beast had wandered off.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top. Now, maybe your army comes, and maybe it's too much for us, but it's all on you. Because if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Tito.
This says he was a son of Julia, a homemaker, and Herman Jackson, a plant foreman. There's no mention, according to the always reliable Wikipedia, about him being part of the Jackson family.
No,
Yeah.
I swore when I Googled that last week, it said it. Maybe
Distant
I
relation?
totally
No, it's
missed it.
Doesn't say, huh?
Get the show research team on that one, I guess.
We'll do
Maybe
that.
I just
yeah.
missed it.
Thank God we got such a big staff.
Exactly. A few more birthdays here. Singer Jason Mraz turns 49 years old today.
Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours.
That was a banger in high school.
Yes, it was.
That was a
Yeah,
good one.
That was a pretty catchy tune back in the day. And then the 2006 NFL MVP, six-time All-Pro, and NFL or I guess I should say Pro Football Hall of Famer, LaDainian Tomlinson turns 47 years old today.
At full throttle, stirred to a frenzy, they want the record. Tomlinson off the left side. Tomlinson sidesteps. Hello, history books. You think of all the legends of the game, whether it's a Jim Brown or a Gale Sayers, and Marcus Allen, who knew how to score a touchdown or two in his time, to Falk, and on to Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander, and no one has ever raised the bar to 29 until now.
Still owns that single season rushing touchdown record there that he set a couple decades ago now.
Between him and go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Between him and Falk, I would have them on Madden all the time.
Oh,
Marshall Falk was a cheat code. LaDainian Tomlinson was a cheat code.
Yeah.
Though that's because I was a little too young to really be getting too into the NFL. But Madden, oh my God.
They had the first pick in the draft in 2001, and Michael Vick was the guy. Mm-hmm. And Vick had hinted that he didn't want to sign with the Chargers, and so they traded, and ended up Vick goes to Atlanta. Chargers slide down to 5. The Browns passed on Tomlinson to take Gerard Warren. Mm-hmm. And San Diego gets him at 5. They got Tomlinson there, and then they took Drew Brees in the second round.
Oh,
I feel
Not too
like
bad.
we don't see as many players these days who just straight up tell a team, "I'm not going to you anymore." I
Yeah.
feel like that happened a decent amount back in the day.
It happened with obviously with Eli Manning. Same thing with the Chargers there. We didn't want to go to the Chargers also.
Didn't Dion do that?
Dion, I don't remember if Dion did that or not. I know Dion wanted to stay south. I know that. He wanted to stay in the south. So I don't know if that was. I can't remember who went in Dion's draft there. But yeah, just funny the Browns took Gerard Warren.
Whoops.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
And then last birthday here, turning 33 years old today, two-time All-Star, longtime infielder for the Chicago White Sox, and maybe most famously known around here for taking a right hook from Jose Ramirez, Tim Anderson, turning 33 years old today.
I love this guy.
And another hustle double. Right over the bag at first. Now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Ramirez went in with a head-first slide. Hosey never gets upset about anything. They came up chewing. Anderson squared off. Hosey decked him. It's a 5-1 Chicago lead, but everybody from the dugouts and the bullpens congregated around second base.
The best part of that play was there wasn't really anything that would make you think twice.
Right.
He just kind of slid into second.
Yeah.
Anderson kind of got him on the head on the tag, and it was just they both stood up, and it was just on. It was just we're just going to fight right here, right now. Real quick here, Tito.
Yeah.
Stephen Randall, Randy Jackson, is Michael's biological brother. Randall Darius Randy Jackson, the famous American Idol judge, no relation. So
Okay.
there is a Randy
There's a Randy
Jackson.
That's absolutely right,
Not
yes.
that Randy Jackson,
Yes.
so we got that.
By the way, just real quickly, I don't care for friendly, whatever.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyway, somebody on Facebook that asked a question of people that one among our friends, is somebody you hated when you were a sports person, you hated when you were younger.
Oh, Matt Leinart.
And so, well, yeah, there you go. So, I said, I hated Magic growing up because I was a Bird fan. And then as I got older, I realized, God, Magic's really cool. I like Magic quite a bit. And I felt the same way about the Fab Five, too. I hated the Fab Five. Then as I got older, I thought, what the Fab Five did was pretty damn cool. I hate everything Indians / Guardians related. I do. But I changed last year when all the stuff with going on with Shark retiring, and the Guardians franchise could not have been nicer about the things they sent him when I reached out to them for that retirement party stuff for that out there at Huntington Park, where they sent him the autographed Jose Ramirez jersey, and Ramirez is his favorite player for the Guards, and then Tom Hamilton and Rick Manning both sent really cool messages.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big Hamilton guy, but nothing against him just because he was related with the Guardians. But after hearing that, I'm like, God, they're pretty cool over there.
One thing you learn in this business is most people are just good people.
Yeah, I know, right.
It's maybe you played for a team I didn't like, but
right.
then you meet them, you're like, yeah, you're just a good person, so I'm not going to root for your favorite team now. But
I hope that you can have a moment with Leinart like Rocky did with the Russian people.
I don't know if we're ever
if you
getting
can
that
if you can change,
No.
if we can, everybody can change.
I think 9-year-old Bodie would just refuse to let that happen. Some grudges there's just no coming back from. I got a couple passings here. Passing away in 1969 at the age of 67, Chuck Taylor, the basketball player who made the shoes pretty famous there. I also saw, too, he was born tomorrow, so he was one day off the famous.
Could have saved somebody on a tombstone.
Same death date there. And then passing away in 1997 at the age of 63 was Betty Shabazz. She died from burns suffered in a fire started by her young grandson. Not a very fun way to go, but she was the wife of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And then holidays and observances today. It is National Pink Day, your favorite color there, Tito. National Hydration Day, National Detroit Style Pizza Day. Can kind of take it or leave it. Not my favorite, but I don't mind it.
Detroit style is like Jets and.
Yes, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. I had a good Detroit style. I think Pizza Nerds. Have you guys had them?
I have not had that.
This is a plug. They're not paying me, but I have given them a lot of money.
There you go. And then last but not least, it is Fix Your Windows and Doors Day. So that's what I got for you guys.
I won't do
there.
it, and you can't make me.
June 23rd, 2026, the 174th day of the year. We have 191 days left until 2027.
Well done as always, Colonel. By the way, my dad, when he played high school basketball way back in the 1960s, they get a pair of tennis shoes, Chuck Taylor, to start the season. And if you ever got a tear in them, they would replace them. So right before the last game of the season, he and his buddies would always get a knife out and cut tears in their shoes. They get new ones before the last game or whatever, and then get them for the rest of the summer. And I cheated on the pre-ACT, so apparently I can blame my father for all that, right? It's genetics. It's not personality. It's not me. Coming up next, folks, there was a big move not related to Giannis in the NBA yesterday. We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
So after I got done playing football, I still like to work out, go do all of the activities that I love so much. And unfortunately, I started having a little bit of pain in my knee. That's when I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics. We were able to go in there, get the consultation, get treated, and now my knees, well, they're as good as new.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? I don't know. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Gavian Ride. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. Tito, Bodie, Michael Bennett with you. And like I said, in the quick hitters, we'll talk more about the Giannis stuff. But before the Giannis stuff broke, there was some news in the NBA / college basketball world. Dusty May, Michigan head coach Dusty May, is reportedly finalizing a deal to become coach of the Dallas Mavericks. May, of course, Michigan won the national title, and I threw up my own mouth when I said that a little bit there this past season. But he is going to, over 2 seasons, all he was in Ann Arbor was 2 seasons, went 64-13. Before that, he led Florida Atlantic to the 2023 Final Four. So, a young guy, still 49 in terms of coaching, but he leaves to take this Michigan job and coach Cooper Flagg.
You guys might know more about this. You guys definitely know more about this than me. Is a head coach for college basketball, does that transfer to the NBA? Because for football, it most definitely does not. We've seen that, countless times. Is it a better transition for them from college to the NBA?
It's hit and miss because guys like John Calipari, Rick Pitino, 2 of the more successful ones did not have success at all at the NBA level. Jerry Tarkanian left college to go to coach the San Antonio Spurs and only lasted a very short time. Most recently, John Beilein, right? Michigan's head coach.
Yeah, he was a total failure.
Yes.
I would say Billy Donovan, fine.
Fine, yeah.
Pretty good in OKC.
Yeah.
Had a lot of talent, especially when he first got there with
Right.
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. Now, Brad Stevens was a total home run, but I think he's by far and away the outlier. I would say way more often than not, it hasn't worked out.
I would say so too.
I feel like maybe these days, even for college football, maybe it would be an easier transition because players are getting paid in college now. I would say that management of star power is probably a little bit more similar than it used to be back in the day.
For sure, yeah. And I think I can't remember who I saw post it, and it's not a crazy take. I think everybody has kind of said this about college athletics, where it's like if you are a college coach and you can get to the next level and not deal with all the NIL crap and whatnot that you're having to deal with, and building a new roster on the fly, which, like you said, Mike, I mean, that's kind of how the NBA is too. So I guess Dusty May is going to be prepared for that. But if you can get back to just kind of coaching basketball, and it's got its own warts too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
The NBA is, coaching those guys isn't necessarily easy either. But And I remember, Tito, we had talked about him potentially getting the Orlando job earlier this offseason. This news, I guess, sort of caught me by surprise because once the Orlando thing had they moved on to – who did they hire?
I know they had like a Spurs assistant, didn't they?
Yes, Sean Sweeney. Yep, good call on that one. But once that kind of didn't come to fruition, then I was just like, oh, maybe he was just going to stick at Michigan. And this news kind of came out of left field a little bit yesterday morning when I saw it. But I mean, I think it's a move that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know, Cooper Flagg, top 10 give or take guy that you would want to build around right now, and Dallas is. They've been a little bit of a mess the last couple of years since the Luka trade, but pretty stable organization overall if you can kind of get past what they've been a mess for the last 18 months.
Right. Yeah. They and Larry Brown was the last time a coach won the Natty and then went to the NBA right after that. But Brown's a different situation.
Did he win a title, though?
He won a title with Kansas. Oh, with the Pistons. Yeah, he won it later on the Pistons.
Okay.
Yeah. But Larry Brown, though, he coached in the NBA, ABA plenty of times. He actually coached at UCLA. He had such a checkered's the wrong word, but he coached a lot of different professional and college places. But then after he won at Kansas with Danny Manning, he I think went to the Clippers after that and coached Manning there, if I'm not mistaken. But didn't have success there. But he coached Philadelphia with Iverson for a while, and then he did win it with the Pistons. Yes, they beat the Lakers, correct?
In 2004.
Yeah, that was the year they beat the Lakers. But and you're right. At the pro, look at the NFL thing too. With the NFL from college to the NFL, I mean, Jimmy Johnson did well. Pete Carroll did well, but Carroll also coached in the NFL before that.
Time.
Yeah, this is a second time going through that. Not a lot, though. I mean, I can think of a certain coach from here at Ohio State that ended up going to the NFL and didn't do very well.
And Saban, two of the most accomplished college coaches.
Saban, yep. Lou Holtz didn't even last a full season when he went there to coach the Jets. He left before the first season even ended. So
I'm trying to think I'm looking through the teams, and not that I can remember every single NFL head coach right off the top of my head, but is there even a guy in the NFL right now that you would say or we'll say in the last 3, 4, 5 years that has done well coming from college?
I can't think
Not
of
as a
one.
head
Just drawing a blank, but
I can't think of one. I mean, you can't count Harbaugh because, right? I mean, Harbaugh, he did go. Well, I guess from back then, first time through, after leaving,
they were really good with the San Francisco.
Yeah,
there.
for San Francisco there.
Yeah,
I guess you count
he's
Jim
done a nice
Harbaugh.
job in L.A.
He's done a decent job in L.A.
Chip Kelly was solid in Philly.
He was solid for a couple years.
It kind of fell off quickly,
yes.
but it wasn't like this disaster that sometimes people like to look back and make it out to be.
His style worked because it just threw people off guard for a year or two, where he was just running like crazy. I think he had LaShawn McCoy too, and that's like a cheat code at running back. So,
absolutely, yes.
But after people started figuring out, he's just going no huddle and he's just gonna, try to wear you out, they adjusted to that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But this shows that even we just rattled off stuff that we know off the top of our head that about coaches. It feels like, based on what we're saying, our opinion would be that, and I'm not trying to get us to start like a group or something or any kind of cause, but anyway, that it's a lot of the times going from college to the pros in basketball and football doesn't work out that well.
Yeah.
But they're going to keep doing it. Nothing's going to change. If Ryan Day all of a sudden said, you know what, I think I'd like to coach in the NFL. I'm not saying Day wouldn't be successful, but there would be a number of teams lined up to get him.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, there were people after Tressel for a while when he was hot here. And so it's not going to change, but it feels like there's more misses than hits.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, and I'm not sure it's ever going to change as far as not only teams going after them, but the success of it.
Yeah.
But I don't
it's just such a different game.
It is, but I don't mind Dallas taking a swing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, we got a, I guess, youngish team. I know they still got Kyrie there, which feels like maybe they could move off of him at some point and fully kind of reset the deck. But he's been a great coach. Obviously, did what he did at Florida Atlantic, and he was only in Ann Arbor for a couple of seasons, but a ton of success there doing that. And so we'll see how it translates. I kind of wonder too, and we'll get Reimer on here in about 20 minutes, give or take. But it'll be interesting to see where Michigan goes from here.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been a really successful program for quite a while now. And I would have to imagine, without being 100% locked into it, I would guess that their NIL stuff is in pretty good shape for the basketball program. Not sure they make a full-time hire this offseason. I know they did promote the one assistant coach to interim, right? I don't know if that interim is in this season?
I don't know.
This summer or what?
Until they hire someone new.
Yeah.
But I want to ask Reimer about that because the way the 15-day window goes, it's where you can transfer. There's a 15-day window after your new head coach is hired.
Yes.
does that apply to interim? If they name him the interim head coach, does the clock start now on transfers, or does that be a because if that's the case, then if it opens up, great. But if it doesn't, though, then if you don't name the head coach until the season already starts, no one's going to transfer then. So I got to believe the interim thing is when it starts.
And this is not this is a Michigan team that obviously won the national championship just a couple months ago, but every way too early top 25 rankings I've always seen for next year has them as another top 5, top 10 team. This is a really talented team. So this is a huge deal for them and could be a huge deal for some other programs.
Good poaching opportunity.
Exactly, yeah.
There's a lot of people that were upset, Ohio State fans, that Ohio State went with Diebler over someone like Dusty May. It sounds like they could have potentially had Dusty May. Yeah. And even in this building, I know Bone was a big one who wanted Dusty May over Diebler, and I wonder if this changes anybody's idea about that.
I don't think so. Yeah.
If May, they hire May and he leaves after 2 years, I know, granted, if he wins a natty, that's you're right, that's it. But
even if he doesn't, though, to me, just the level of success that he's had, it still sets it up for the next guy, and whatnot. So I understand the thought process. Would you rather have Diebler for, we'll just say 8 years, or May for 2? But I don't know, man. That's a pretty good 2.
I promise you, though, in college basketball this year, Diebler wins more games than Dusty May. That's a safe bet.
Probably fair.
If he doesn't, we've got much bigger problems over there on Lane Avenue or by the Olentangy. Coming up next, I was going to say on Lane Avenue by Olentangy, but there's schools everywhere. There are colleges and businesses and buildings everywhere. I can't really – it's not all on one street.
You're right as that intersection.
Right. Yeah. Not on a main street. I can't just say Main Street. I can't just say that and cover all of it. Coming up next, do some quick hitters. Big trade in the NBA. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you think of brands that are customer focused, one thing they all have in common is that their values and commitment to quality have been passed from one generation to the next. With 3 generations in the roofing industry, our family has built a reputation on honesty, transparency, and consistency. Our commitment to the customer will show through all of our team members as they make sure that every customer is completely satisfied. When it comes to your roofing needs, work with a company built around family. Call Newman Roofing today.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
In a world of one-click shopping and instant delivery, shouldn't your broken AC get the same speedy service? At the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling, easy breezy cooling solutions hit your doorstep in an instant. It's the best kind of delivery, from first click to final fix. We deliver results in record time, every time. Schedule your visit online. The Waterworks and Header, together to serve you better.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
Knee pain's something I lived with since the big game, and I'm all over surgeries. That's how I found QC Kinetics. I was able to get in, see the doctors, do the treatment, and get my knee feeling basically brand new. I can work out, run, most importantly, chase my son around the house and the yard, and do my job without any pain.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps.
I'm dead sexy.
You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Just a few Ohio boys here with you. Bodie, take the wheel.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Tuesday. Late last night. I was kind of locked into my phone all day waiting for this news to happen. Then I woke up this morning, and it was the first thing I saw on ESPN. The Giannis Antetokounmpo trade finally came to fruition late last night. The ESPN article was posted around, I think it was like 11:45 p.m. Eastern time. So not sure the exact minute it broke, but it was definitely almost, frankly, Tuesday morning, not even Monday night, as the Milwaukee Bucks sent the two-time MVP to the Miami Heat in exchange for 4 players, headlined by Tyler Hero, and then 4 first-round draft picks. That includes the 13th overall selection in tonight's 2026 NBA draft. We got the first round tonight, second round tomorrow night, because the NBA is trying to be like the NFL, although that not sure the ratings are going to work out very well for tomorrow night's second round. But nevertheless, the draft picks in the trade are unprotected first rounders in 2031 and 2033, plus a pick swap in between there, before that, I should say, in 2030. And then it has been widely reported that the Bucks, they were down to 2 offers, one from the Celtics that included Jaylen Brown, and then the other package that they end up choosing, taking it from the Miami Heat. And how about this? He is just the 6th player in league history to be traded after winning multiple MVPs. The other 5 guys on the list, you've probably heard of them: Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, and then technically LeBron and Steve Nash are on there, although those 2 guys were signed in trades, so kind of not the exact same situation. But nevertheless, Tito, a trade that's been, I'll say, months in the making, if not even years in the making, finally gets done, and he lands in Miami for a interesting package, I'll say.
Yeah, the Bucks now have 2 lottery picks tonight. They've got 10 and 13. Granted, they're not high lottery picks, but still, nonetheless, they do have 2 lottery picks tonight. That's part of the deal as well. And the deal, although right now is just between the 2 teams, it's not going to be official until July 6th. So much like what happened last year, if you remember when the Suns and Rockets made the deal with Durant, it was just those 2 teams. And then by the time they announced it was a 7-team trade with all the different things that got moved around. But I think that the Celtics had a better trade in place with Jaylen Brown if he would have stayed in Milwaukee. Milwaukee gets, Tyler Hero's from the Wisconsin area. I think he actually went to high school near Milwaukee. And they get younger players that are, and I know Hero, I believe, is he can sign a bigger deal now. But for the most part, though, it's like people under control. And then it's really, it's 3 first-round picks and then 2 pick swaps is what it ends up being when you include the 13 today. So it's the Bucks are. It's probably I think the Boston had a better offer with Jaylen Brown and 2 firsts, but this is probably a better trade if you're going to just tear it all down and start over Milwaukee.
For somebody who's not like really well known about, I don't know who Khalil Ware and Jamie Jacquez and Kasparis.
Yep.
That's a good one. Jack
there you go. Listen, dude. Listen, when you do this long enough, what you do is you let the producer announce it. You just say, "What's that? What's the other guy, Bodie? I can't remember his name. Make Bodie do it." And then if it's wrong, it's not on you.
There's a lot of letters that I haven't seen in that order.
I know, and there's a couple of vowels
None
missing.
of them are vowels.
But it feels like Milwaukee got the better end of this trade. I mean, Giannis is early 30s. He's still a physical specimen. I don't know how many years at prime Giannis he has left if he's still at prime Giannis. So to be able to get 3 first-rounders out of this over this course of whatever it is, 5 years, that kind of feels like it sets Milwaukee up to be successful or to have an opportunity of success for the next 5 years, while Miami's really banking on Giannis being special for, 2-3 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a shorter window, and now if you're Miami, you're better with Giannis, of course, and you pair him up with Adebayo, but how much better? I don't know.
And Bam's getting up there, too. He's got to be.
Bam, I think he was pretty young. He's been in the league a long time. I think he was younger when he first came in.
Okay.
Let's see how old is
Well,
Bam.
to be fair,
he's 28, yeah.
Okay, I thought he was in his early 30s.
Everyone's younger when they first came in.
That's true.
That's
that is just an absolute fact. You cannot argue that.
Nobody's coming in at 22 anymore.
That's like the Mitch Hedberg joke.
Younger.
Right, when he held up, he said, somebody showed me a picture and said, this is me when I was younger. Every picture of you is when you were younger.
That is true. The youngest you'll ever be is right now. That's very second.
Right.
It's crazy to think that a guy can be in the league 10 years.
Oh,
and
no.
He's 28. Yeah, still not be 30.
No doubt. I think the interesting piece that kind of first came to mind for me when I saw this trade, and we knew like if it was going to be Boston, it was going to be centered around Jaylen Brown. If it was going to be Miami, it was more so about the draft picks. Is just with the new lottery format, I don't know what to make of these trades anymore, Tito.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's There's Miami. So if you're between the 4th and 10th worst record in the league, you have the best shot at getting the number 1 pick. Now, first off, that's a lot of teams. Like
Yes.
That's in the past used to be, and even just in the last handful of years, it's been the top
three.
Yeah. That have the equal odds to land the number 1 pick. Now you're doubling that, going up to 6 teams. So that's that. And then now Miami, credit to them. They have done, I'll say, a nice job of, even when they're not like peak championship caliber, they don't tank.
Right.
Like they find a way to like stay in the middle, which I know is kind of not normally where you want to be in the NBA, but nevertheless, like I'm not sure if those picks would be top 5 good for Milwaukee, but at the same time, like could Miami easily miss the playoffs a couple times in there, especially a few years from now, and they land between 4 and 10? Absolutely. Now on the flip side though, if you're Milwaukee, you've kind of torn it down, but you also kind of can't tank because there's no incentive to tank anymore. Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, I admittedly am just like saying I don't know what to make of these type of trades anymore because they used to make a lot of sense. Hey, we're gonna get draft picks way out in the future. We'll hope by time we trade this all-star player to this new team, he's either old or he's just gone.
Right.
And those picks are like the most famous example, obviously, is Garnett and Paul Pierce were just old, frankly. Like they were kind of cooked. And then Brooklyn was just terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't have any more good players, and then that's how the Celtics got Tatum and Brown. And that's how a lot of teams have tried to bank on these trades. But with the new lottery format, I don't know what to make of these moves anymore.
Well, yeah, but the rules and also like the fact about you can't pick what in the top. You can't have the top.
Yeah.
Is it top 3 or top 5
It's
consecutive?
top 5, I think.
Consecutive years, or is it?
Or it might be like number 1 pick consecutive years, top 5 3 times in a 4-year stretch.
Something like that. Yeah. So and the fact that, which could obviously alter this also.
Yes.
Because if let's say they do the pick swap on a certain year, but then the next year change the Heat pick is somewhere.
Yes.
It's like there's so many different moving parts on this.
And on top of all of that, the lottery format expires when the CBA expires in 2029. Well, 3 of these picks are after that. So like maybe we have another new set of lottery reform that we haven't even gotten to this new one yet. And so it'll be interesting to see how it works out. It'll could be either a great trade from Milwaukee or it could be something that I don't know if it'll ever be a bad trade.
Giannis wanted out.
Giannis wanted out. They weren't going to really. They were in their roster around him was in just such a mess that I'm not sure they were like going to really be contending anymore with him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how draft picks are moved over the next few years with that new lottery format. We'll change it up here, guys. Head to the college football world. We are a little more than 2 weeks away from the 3rd installment of the EA Sports college football video game being released as the game has made its triumphant return since the summer of 2024. And as we inch our way closer to the game's release, EA Sports is set to reveal many of their rankings for the game for this upcoming summer here. And first up on Monday, yesterday, was the top 25 toughest stadiums to play in. And coming in at number 2 in the rankings was Ohio Stadium, home of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. The shoe landed at number 2 behind only Death Valley. It'd be the Baton Rouge version for LSU, not Clemson. LSU and Death Valley, number 1. Ohio State, number 2. Penn State and Beaver Stadium, number 3. Sanford Stadium for the Georgia Bulldogs at number 4. And then Alabama came in at number 5. Some other stadiums of note here. Ohio State will, of course, host Michigan this year, but the Big House was number 12. Texas' stadium, Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium, was number 13. Buckeyes will head down there week 2. Memorial Stadium for Indiana was number 17. Ohio State will head there in October. That felt pretty high for IU, if I'm being honest. What Kirk Cignetti's done is incredible.
Yes.
I don't know if they have the 17th toughest stadium in the country there. And then Kinnick Stadium for the Iowa Hawkeyes was number 19 on the list. So.
Personally, that old Northwestern stadium, it wasn't the stadium, it was the field.
The grass.
Those sickos would keep the grass at like 4 inches long.
Oh, yeah.
That was you still
Open.
win, but like it was probably the least fun place to play just because you'd be exhausted. It was like playing in sand. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's when you see those, it's funny because you mentioned the Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk cheat code kind of thing on Madden games. And I remember going back even further, like in the old Tecmo Bowl days, when if you had Bo Jackson, he got the ball, he was going to score a touchdown every single time. Jack Del Rio and Lawrence Taylor were beasts on that. Like those, like that would complete, like the game was unrealistic at that point where like you could score 8 touchdowns in a game every time you had Bo Jackson. And now these games have gotten so much more realistic that people pay so much more attention to the ratings on them.
Yeah,
like things like this.
It's fun. It doesn't matter. Obviously.
No, it doesn't. But it's much closer though to reality.
Yeah.
As far as things like that. Yeah.
I mean, Bama, Penn State, Ohio State, LSU, and who else was in there? Georgia. you could probably throw those 5 in any order.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. But I think the top 5 made sense. After that, you're kind of, because there's some things too, and I admittedly don't have the full list pulled up here, but like typically Virginia Tech is a stadium that gets some love, but like I've always kind of heard like Enter Sandman's awesome.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from Hokies fans, but
I'm surprised Wisconsin wasn't higher on the list. The way that they get talked about, by Wisconsin fans and stuff like that. I still remember coming into college, people say, "Wait till you play at Wisconsin. Wait till you play at Wisconsin," and I did not feel it when I was there. Like the jump around.
Yeah.
There are times when it gets like when you're locked in, you don't even notice it's happening.
Right.
But then there are other times where like you're able to kind of look up and enjoy it a little bit. But Penn State, Penn State's going crazy.
Yeah.
You can't think at Penn State. And Ohio State, you can feel when that the stadium gets to rocking, the air's trembling, all that kind of stuff. And I've heard the same about LSU.
Yeah.
But I would have thought they would have given Wisconsin a little bit more of a ranking. I don't see them in the top 25.
And that's probably a factor of what's happened the last few years,
Yeah, it's
right?
fickle
Where it's
factor,
like,
yeah.
well, not a good one, though.
I know.
unfortunately.
It's tough.
No, you're
I
not
gotta-
wrong.
that's tough. I don't want to say it too fast. I could get banned. Fickle factor.
Yeah, but it's when you're not winning at all. It's like, how do you have a home field advantage if you can't win any games?
The Indiana thing is surprising to me.
That one I don't understand at all. I mean, what they've done in the last couple of years is it's remarkable. It's
But how
one
many
of the best stories.
How
in
many
sports.
big games have they had in Indiana?
First, especially just ever, frankly.
Right, yeah, but the last 2 years, though.
Even the last 2 years, they hosted Michigan 2 years ago, and then last year. I'm trying to even.
Did they host Illinois last year?
They hosted Illinois
and they killed them.
But
yeah,
like,
I lost
come
money
on,
in Vegas.
Illinois, like it's I mean, this year when they host Ohio State, it'll be like the biggest game there in 100 years, probably, and it'll probably be a really good atmosphere. I don't know how you can put them at 7. I feel like 17 is almost like, well, we want people to play the game, and when they play at IU, we want it to be a little tougher because the team's good. You know?
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it's with the and that too with the Indiana thing. And I always say every time I bring up Indiana Stadium, I ask the question, and I can't remember. And you guys might not know either, but Indiana might be one of those stadiums where, and at least you used to be able to, you could leave at halftime and come back in.
Okay.
Like you go out to your car and tailgate a little more at halftime and then come back in the stadium. I don't know if Indiana's still that way or not. I know it was for. I feel like it was for a long. I know. It's like, hey, we're just glad you're coming back.
Yes.
Yeah, we know you're leaving at halftime.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Come on in though. You don't have a ticket? I don't care. Right down there. Right down there in front. You can do that.
I definitely would have put Iowa over Indiana. Iowa also would.
I would think so. Yeah.
Their like amenities for the visiting team make it tough too.
The pink locker room.
Yeah, the pink locker room, but it's also. Well, it wasn't even. I'm colorblind, so I don't even know if I noticed it was pink. But it was just a bad locker room. Like it was. The lockers were super tight. The showers were terrible. It's uncomfortable. You don't have anywhere to put your stuff. You don't have anywhere to get ready, and that makes people like that in Michigan State. Michigan State did that. Just terrible visitor locker rooms, and I don't think people understand how much that will affect your preparation for the game. When in your home stadium, you've got these beautiful lockers that they roll out the red carpet for you at your home stadium, but you go to a visitor locker room and you've got like the worst chairs, the worst benches, the worst amenities in general. That'll really not necessarily mess with the guy's head, but it's just you're out of your flow. Feels off.
It's like driving a new car.
Exactly.
It's like I know how to drive, but like something about this just feels like slightly
I hit the
off.
brakes the first time. It really,
the steering wheel's a little looser.
Yep.
I did want to sneak in this one real quick here, guys. The Buckeyes, they landed another elite wide receiver in recruiting. How about this? Austin Miller, a 2029
Of
recruit.
course.
So if you want to feel a little bit older today, he actually doesn't even have a ranking yet.
Yeah.
Because it's so far out. None of the websites have put one out there yet. But he's from California. He chose the Buckeyes over USC, Miami, and Oregon. Last year as a freshman, 609 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. Also had 800-plus rushing yards and 13 scores on the ground. So first commitment there for Cortez Hankton. And so, we'll see how the product on the field is. But no Brian Hartline, no problem so far, at least in the recruiting ranking for Hankton there and landing, like I said, at 2029.
I'll pick up my jaw. Think Ohio State got another receiver? Really?
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. I'm so surprised. But good for them. You're at 2029. I do feel old. Somebody else makes me feel old because he looks so young. 10 TV's Jacob Reimer joins us next. This is Morning Juice.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief.
Hi, I'm Bobby Carpenter.
And I'm Jake Ballard.
And we are both QC Kinetics believers. We are both pain-free in the knees.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite Fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Bodie, I need your opinion on something here.
All right.
And I'm not going to name any kind of like afflictions or diseases or things that people have to deal with.
All right.
Be careful on that one. But there's certain things, if you say it, then somebody says, oh, I've got that. You have to say, oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend or something like that. Like when someone asked me about the Mother's Day.
With all due respect.
Yeah, with all due respect, the Mother's Day thing after my mom passed away, and you and Bobby both talked about how great your mothers were and all this stuff. I thought that was really disrespectful. You didn't have to apologize for it, though. But anyway, what I'm saying, though, is when Michael tells us after we talk about the pink locker rooms, he says, I didn't see it, I was colorblind. Do we apologize then? It's like, hey, man, sorry, I didn't mean any offense by that. Is color blindness, or is that, like, I'm trying to think what level that's on.
That way, if I'm honest. I always thought colorblind, too, was admittedly more like reds and greens. Am I off on that? Okay.
It's a spectrum.
Okay.
I personally don't think I'm colorblind, but those damn tests get me every time.
Wait. Just a second. Wait, you don't think you're colorblind?
No. I see colors.
Do you see colors?
I see colors, but then you take the test, and all of a sudden, I'm horribly colorblind.
That's right. On this show, we don't see color, Michael, just so you know. It's collectively, we don't see color.
Tito, I feel safer.
Well, I feel a little weird that you do see color. It seems like now you should apologize to me. But nonetheless, the fact that I just don't know if someone says I'm colorblind, and the fact he doesn't identify as colorblind is also kind of weird, even though he tests his color.
I reject it. I reject my diagnosis of colorblind.
So wait, if my DNA comes back, or if my 23andMe, and it turns out I'm 49% black, and I say, I don't identify as that, is that? But
I don't think those are a one-to-one comparison.
I don't think so.
I think those might be slightly different, Tito.
Okay.
I've got like different cones in my eyes, not ancestry.
So colorblind hereditary at all?
I think it is. It's passed from your mom's side. For whatever reason, it doesn't affect women as much, but it's passed down as, I think, a recessive gene by women.
Do you know how much fish is
So I
sweating
blame my
right now
mom.
in the office? I was going to tell you
Get HR on speed dial.
A buddy of mine, we were talking about, this was years ago, like if you're going to go bald or not. And then it's like, I guess it's your grandfather, right? Is that what?
I thought that was your mom's side,
on
too.
your mom's
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
right. And I say to my buddy, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to go bald or not. I said, well, dude, it's easy. Was your mom's dad, was your grandfather on your mom's side, was he bald? And I'd forgotten he was adopted. And he said, I have no idea. How
go,
could you?
Tito.
There was an apology again.
Yep.
That would deserve an
Yep.
apology that I didn't realize that I forgot that one of my best friends was adopted. Because I don't see adoption either. How about that? All right, here we go.
I try to push the sympathy for colorblindness from time to time. If I feel like someone's piling on a little too hard, I'm like, sir, it's a disability. Like,
do you park closer to the stores or not?
If I could, I would, Tito. If I could,
hey guys,
I would.
I know I'm walking fine and everything, but listen, I can't see. I'm colorblind. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Tito.
Jacob Ryan from 10 TV, also moonlights as a producer on the Buckeye Show, joins us here now. He's also our college basketball sicko/expert. Were you surprised, Jacob, about the Dusty May hiring?
Yes, I think it was definitely the most shocking news this college basketball offseason. I felt like I had heard that was an end goal for Dusty May, but with the roster that he had built to run it back after winning the national championship, I felt was capable of doing that again or getting close to being in position to do that. And right here we are before the draft, and now he's the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. And I was reading some articles, and Matt Norlander was with Dusty May a few months ago, and asked him, "Are you going to do you see yourself still here 3 to 4 years?" And he said no. So he was kind of going to be out anyways at some point because he wanted to get to the NBA. I just did not expect it to be this soon. But you got to strike when the iron's hot. He reached the mountaintop of college basketball. He went to 2 Final Fours, one with FAU and one with Michigan, and in 2 years got them a national championship. So, yeah, when you've got it hot right now, you've reached the peak of college basketball, take your shot now.
So you think this is more of a natural progression than a fleeing situation?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think there's anything crazy behind it just because of what Dusty May's background seems to be. He's not a shady guy or anything like that, I don't think. So, what the other program in Michigan has had the last few years. So I think it's just more of hey, I've reached what I wanted to, kind of like what Brad Stevens did, and I'm ready to take that next step and go to the next level.
We were talking before about college coaches that go to the NBA, and a lot of them don't have success. Brad Stevens being one of the exceptions there.
Yeah.
Do you see similarities between Brad Stevens and Dusty May? Or do you think that this is because it seems like we saw the Beeline stuff when he left Michigan for the Cavs?
Yeah,
and that was a disaster.
Yes, it was.
But do you think that Dusty May has a chance to be maybe not quite as successful, but have kind of an impact like Brad Stevens had?
I think he can, just because he's a basketball savant. He has such a great mind for the game, and he's going to a situation where Dallas has been weird the last few years, trading Luka, and then you trade Anthony Davis, who was a part of that deal too. So, but now he kind of gets a fresh start with Cooper Flagg going into his second year. Okay, he just won the national championship in college basketball, and now I get the opportunity to coach Cooper Flagg. I think that's a pretty fair opportunity to jump at. And so you get him, you got a young up-and-coming roster, you still got Kyrie, you still got Klay Thompson there. So, there's pieces to where, his mind can really benefit those guys to where maybe, they have the 9th pick this year, which I now want to expect to believe is going to be a Michigan player. Yeah. And I think they can very much put themselves in position to, I'm not saying being a title contender, but, maybe being just on the outside of the play-in, being right there in the mix of the middle of the West, and be a playoff team potentially.
So for the NBA and for college basketball, I assume college basketball head coaches have more success being, I'll call it an X's and O's guy.
Yeah.
Installing their program, running it to a T. I've always pictured successful NBA coaches as being more of star managers than they are necessarily implementing a basketball game plan. I could be wrong there, but I think of Steve Kerr, Spoelstra, Ty Lue. I know those aren't like Hall of Famers necessarily, or like Ty Lue's not a Hall of Famer necessarily, but they had success, and it seemed like a lot of it was just kind of letting their stars fit into the places that they need to fit. Do you think Dusty May has that in him?
I think I agree with you on that, and because I feel like that's where Beeline got hurt, was like there's so many agendas in the NBA that you have. It's a massive adjustment going from college to the NBA, because you're in control of both, but I feel like you have more control in college because that is your entire program.
Yeah, because like if Kyrie Irving gets to Dallas and Kyrie Irving says, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Well, okay, well, what do you do?
Yeah, and it's cool because we're going to see the opposite of that this year too, with Michael Malone transitioning from the NBA to now coach at North Carolina. And it's going to be interesting to see how those processes go, because I do think Dusty May can be really good in the NBA and kind of balance those stars. I feel like you saw it with Michigan this year because they had 3 monsters, but it was all led by a point guard that can give them the ball, and that's not what Dallas has, because Kyrie's more of a score-first guard when he's healthy and he's available. So, but like he can still create for others. He can still set up everybody else. And like Cooper Flagg, he showed that he can rack up some assists too. So, and then on the other side of it, Michael Malone going down, and I felt like he won the NBA championship, but I feel like on his way out, he it was messy a little bit. Like the stars were kind of colliding, and
he got fired like a week before the playoffs.
Right,
that's not something that normal teams do.
Exactly, and so
hiring
like
Tortorella is a weird thing to do after that. But go ahead, yeah.
So like him going to North Carolina and kind of having control of his own program, which I felt like on his way out in Denver was what he wanted to do, and that might be where he can benefit in college.
Where's Michigan go from here?
It's interesting. So they went with the interim from last year.
Is that for this summer or for this season?
I'm pretty sure for this season.
Okay.
This season. So I think they'll be fine. I feel like it's the move you had to make this cycle just because you're so late into it. And now I think it's been reported, nothing has been official yet that I've seen, that it's going to be Boynton. But once he's hired, then the transfer portal opens for the players on the rosters for 15 days if they want to enter it. But at this point, like, roster spots are pretty much full. And so where can you go and get like the money that you think that you deserve? Because that's a factor now with NIL. So I think that's the move to make, because he was very much involved with recruiting this roster with Dusty May. And he's already built some connections there. He's been with the summer practices. So you stick it out with him this year. They're still going to be an elite team on paper. They're really good.
That was my next question. It's like, I mean, as far as we talked about it just a couple segments ago, but it's like most way too early top 25 rankings. I see this Michigan team.
Yeah.
You never want to bet on a team to repeat because it's not that easy. But I
unless
mean,
you're UConn.
capable. Yeah, exactly. That's true. But I mean, they're more than capable, aren't they?
Right. Like, I mean, they brought back the most outstanding player in the Final Four, which was Elliot Cadeau, their point guard, and Trey McKinney was a freshman last year coming off the bench, who I think is a major breakout candidate for college basketball for Michigan next year, because he's going to be stepping into a bigger role. And they got bigger like they did last transfer cycle. They just repeated it, so they're big in the front court again. It might not be as dominant as last year's one, because last year's front court might be one of the dominantest front courts we've ever seen, and the Ken Palm can back that up in the analytics and everything. So I don't know that it's going to get to that level, but I still view them as one of the top teams in the Big Ten next year, a top 10 team in college basketball going into next year as well. So I think they're going to be very much in the mix. How Boynton's going to be able to bring it all together, we'll see.
10 TV's Jacob Reimer joins us, also moonlights as a part-time job, whether in the Buckeye Show as a producer. And for the record, if you're playing the home version of Morning Juice, the game at home, at around 7:04 is when Reimer first spoke, and within 6 minutes he did bring up North Carolina. Even though no one asked a question about North Carolina, he did find a way to work in the conversation. It's okay. I just want to make sure get it marked off on your card, if that's what you've got there.
That's fine.
Okay, so now you've got Dusty May to the NBA. You've got Shire at Duke and also Hurley at UConn.
Yes.
And they both have been reached out to about NBA jobs before. For a long time,
I think Shire interviewed for, or Dallas at least reached out to him for interest. Yeah.
Izzo for a long time was rumored as being a head coach in the NBA. Never did. Coach K came close to coaching the Lakers, but also got approached often and never went to it. Do you think that Shire is going to be and Hurley are going to be long-term college coaches, or could you see them also making a similar jump?
So I think Hurley is a little bit more secure in college, especially after he turned down the Lakers after back-to-back championships. That was kind of like Dusty May's position. That was when he was hot. He's still hot right now, of course, but like he'll still most likely draw interest, but I feel like it's going to be like a Coach K situation. He'll just string it along and stay in college. Jon Scheyer, I could see making that jump at some point, but I don't see him leaving Duke without winning a national championship, and that's very much going to be soon with the rosters that he's been able to build and the more experience that he gets as a head coach. That's going to happen at some point. But I think him, maybe Todd Golden at Florida, those are two guys that I guess I could see making that jump. And ideally for Scheyer, because he's a Chicago guy. Now I know they just had that opening, but it's because he hasn't won a national championship, I think, in my opinion. If they would have won recently, then maybe he thinks he's ready to make that jump. I could see that being the end goal for Scheyer, but most likely situationally with Chicago, because that's where he's from.
What do you think the biggest draw for these college coaches is to jump to the NBA? Like, I know for college football, it's probably to avoid recruiting. The hours are probably better. You get that big old offseason. But for college basketball, is it similarly trying to get out of recruiting or just a dream to be a head coach in the NBA?
I think it's a little bit of both of that. And I'm mostly trending now towards with recruiting because you have to handle NIL now. And I think a little piece in that article from Matt Norlander was Dusty May got a text about getting a recruit, but then he's like, oh, it's not final yet. We still have to deal with the agent. And so like that's now where we're at in college basketball, college athletics itself, and the roster turnover is getting a lot more messier, it seems like, and you have the budget for programs just getting like 100% more in money like each year. So like maybe that's like kind of weighing on them a little bit, where they don't want to have to handle all that and worry about that, to where when you're in the NBA, you're going to have GMs and front offices that are going to be handling all of that. Mm-hmm. So, and it'll take a little bit of pressure off of them making that jump and not having to handle this recruiting and NIL world.
Who goes number one tonight?
So, Dabanza is my number one prospect.
Okay. So if you had to bet your life on one of the top four guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is dark all of a sudden. Gun to your head.
We like to play gun to your head.
Yeah.
Now, normally with Tito and Bobby, we'll throw children in the mix. Your daughter's pretty young. So
he's only got one, too. Bobby got more than one. We could lose one and be okay.
Exactly. You guys will be fine. If you had to bet your life, though, on one of these guys panning out, you'd go with Dabanza or Dabanza.
I feel like he's
his name.
AJ's called AJ.
Yeah. I think he's the safer pick, and I feel like he's the better all-around player because he had a triple-double one time this year in college basketball, was a few assists away from having multiple triple-doubles. So like he can do it all, and like creating for others, isolating, scoring, and that's mostly what Peterson's really good at, is scoring the basketball, because it just looks effortless out there with Peterson scoring the basketball. Dabanza, he is really working for it.
Effort is
exactly
effortless. He's just hanging out on the bench.
Exactly, and I think that's certainly a factor into it too. Like, are the cramps that we got after the season,
creatine, man.
right? Like, is that going to be a continued into the NBA? I hope it's not, because I feel like he can still be a really good player. Like, this class is ridiculous.
It is.
Like
second year in a row too. You're like, come on, man. The amount of talent. I mean, Cooper Flagg was supposed to be in this class,
which is insane. Yeah. Which is insane. But like the top four picks, like in any other draft except for recently, like other than Wemby, would be number one picks in any other draft. So it's going to be a fun night, I think. If I had to guess, I would think it's Dabanza. Peterson makes a lot of sense matched up with Trae Young, especially with the raise that the Wizards just gave him.
Smart money. 4 years, 212. Yeah, let's give it to that guy.
Which, did he even play for them last year? Like
5 games.
5 games. So, yeah,
but they were really good games. A lot of promise. Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to go all the way up right to the final buzzer, but. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be Dabanza.
If I told you Peterson was multi-time All-NBA player or total bust, what are you banking on?
And again, now we got a gun and a knife to your head.
I think I would go the first option, the multi-time NBA player, just because like
the talent's
just there.
Off the charts.
Yeah, he can flat out score the basketball, and
didn't he kind of kill AJ a couple times in high school when they played?
Yes, yeah. So like before any of the stuff happened at Kansas, like it looked like going into this, Peterson was the clear cut number one, and then everything that happened during the season, questioning his effort and if he's going to be available. Which, I mean, that's the trend in the NBA with load management, so kind of makes sense, but. I feel like the way the season played out, it rolled over to Debanza, and it's because Debanza led the country in scoring, which is the first time that's happened from a freshman since Trae Young in 18.
Oh.
So, I mean, he can do it all. That's why I think it's got to be Debanza. But like Peterson's going to be right there. I think he's still going to be a great NBA player too.
And talking about John Shire Bodie, I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but he said he was a Chicago guy. And I want to know the poll question: is it better to be a Chicago guy or an Ohio girl?
Ooh.
I think that's the poll question we'll go with there. We see what the listeners think about that. All right, we'll get you out on this one. Do you think that that Thornton gets drafted in the draft this year?
I think so. And I think you'll definitely see it in the second round, not just for him, but there's so many seniors that are going to get drafted in the second round. Like so many like elite guards that were like Braden Smiths, Tamin Lipsey, Jaden Bradley at Arizona, like the guys that were really good in college basketball that sometimes we don't see get drafted because their game may not translate or something like that. But because of the amount of talent that came back to college for this upcoming season, that left room for those seniors to then get drafted in the second round. And I think that's where you're going to see Bruce go in this draft cycle.
I got one more for you. Last week, Lenardi released his, again, way too early, bracketology.
Oh, yes.
Buckeyes a 9 seed. Would that be disappointing for this team this year to end up in the 8-9 matchup again? I know making the tournament is never like a disappointment, but would that be disappointing for this year's squad?
I think so, but I think it's a good bar to set because like that's what you were last year. And I feel like the pieces that Diebler's brought in are more for his style, wanting to play a little bit more up-tempo. And I got to go watch practice last Thursday. He invited some people over to watch practice.
You pointed me when you said that because I didn't get invited. It sounds like you were saying he invited some of us. That's what he did. You
I'm
pointed
sorry.
at me. No, it's okay. It's all right. I take it as disrespect. Go ahead.
But I was very pleased with what I was watching. I think it's going like the backups in the guard position are going to be a big upgrade from last season. They're more experienced. They can score. They can really defend. They're long and active. Like everybody, Pippen, Mobley, Curtis Givens III, and Jimmy Williams were out pressuring well, like near the half court line during practices, and it was just so much intensity. And I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun, forcing turnovers, getting points in transition that way. And I felt like Diebler did a good job building the roster around Mobley and Bynum. To me, that was what the biggest goal was going into this offseason, and all the pieces are there to, I think, maybe be a second weekend team, but I feel like a 9 seed's a good bar to set. Now, that's what they were an 8 seed last year. I think they can definitely be better than that this year.
He is 10 TV's Jacob Reimer. He's going to leave here now and probably go have coffee with Diebler. I got invited for coffee with Jake Diebler.
Yep.
We appreciate the time, Reimer. Thank you so much, man. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. A former Brown that could have got traded, did not get traded in his career, but said this guy was right to be traded. Try to wrap your head around that. That's next Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Brian Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
When you think of brands that are customer focused, one thing they all have in common is that their values and commitment to quality have been passed from one generation to the next. With 3 generations in the roofing industry, our family has built a reputation on honesty, transparency, and consistency. Our commitment to the customer will show through all of our team members as they make sure that every customer is completely satisfied. When it comes to your roofing needs, work with a company built around family. Call Newman Roofing today.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care. and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
So after I got done playing football, I still like to work out, go do all of the activities that I love so much. And unfortunately, I started having a little bit of pain in my knee. That's when I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics. We were able to go in there, get the consultation, get treated, and now my knees, well, they're as good as new.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here. Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
I just got to ask a weird question. Wait, that's a deep question. I got to think about that one. I got to think about that question you just asked me. I got to think about that one.
Do we take that to the listeners?
Well, you said, okay, do you take, okay. So,
like if you were married.
Okay, married.
But you married, they already had a kid.
Right.
So now they're your stepkid. And then you get divorced.
Do you take, okay, I see what you're saying. Yep.
Do you carry it over?
You still call them a stepchild, I believe, yes.
Yeah.
And I would still, yes, I would still stay in contact with her and support her and all of that and do all those things. And mainly because she's a very successful nurse and I'll need help at some point. No, but I love her. She's great. No. Yes, yeah. I love her. She's great. Yeah. I think they do. I think typically they do, as long as it's not as, I think it depends on how accepting you are of the child that's brought in, like the of your stepchild. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're like, if the kid hates you, like, oh my God, you ruined you broke up my parents' marriage, and all this going on, they hate you, then I would probably say no. But I'm on good terms with her, so I would say yes, that would be the case.
And probably length of time that you were their step-parent,
that too, yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, I love my stepdaughter. She's awesome. She really is. She's went to OU and just a fantastic student and a wonderful young lady. And she's not listening, so I'm not saying that because of that. But anyway, she's great there. Yes, I would still maintain a relationship with her all the way through, no matter what. Nice. But it's also fair.
What a good dad.
Well, it's also fair to say that it's a good question because my marriage is week to week anyway. So who knows on that one? Anyway, Joe Thomas came out. Oh, by the way, just to clear this up, the Todd father checked in on the chat.
The Todd father.
The Todd father. The Todd father is Reimer's dad.
Oh, nice. All right.
Thanks for having Jacob on this morning. He's a kid in the candy store right now. Yes, he is. The Todd father checks in whenever I have Jacob on one of my shows, he'll check in on the chat. And so, so Jacob's dad, though, the Todd father, I love it. That's great. It's a great name for him, too, nonetheless. So, okay, let's get to football now and the Browns. Joe Thomas was somebody who had every right to get out of Cleveland and go play for a contender. Almost did the Super Bowl year with the Broncos, or maybe Manning's first year before the Super Bowl, whatever it was. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl twice as Manning, but it might have been the first one. But anyway, there was talk that Joe Thomas would get traded. He's good friends with Peyton Manning, to the Broncos. Didn't work out, but he was very close to doing that. We had a chance to play for a contender. We know Joe Thomas did not play for many contenders, if any, in Cleveland. Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer, said that he thinks the Browns made the right decision trading Myles Garrett. But he said that he thinks it was the good move. Not only accept the fact that we're only allowed to think that our ceiling as Browns fans is to cheer for a player that's having a good season or breaking a record. I don't want to lose sight of the fact we're still here to try to win championships. And he said how much he loved watching Myles Garrett play, but it was the one thing that he had to cheer for as Browns fans was Myles Garrett chasing the sack record and all of that, because you weren't looking at a team that could contend for a Super Bowl. I think the Browns also made the right decision trading Myles Garrett. What's your take on that, Michael?
I think that is a very positive spin to put on this. I don't think that trading Myles Garrett makes the Browns more focused on winning a championship. You could have done that with Myles Garrett. I think maybe the fans are like, okay, now we need to put pressure. The ownership doesn't care, hasn't cared, won't care. I think that's been the issue with the Browns program for as long as I've been alive, is that it doesn't seem like the ownership makes moves to win championships. Myles Garrett was, I would say arguably, I don't think it's much of an argument, but the best defensive end in NFL football for the last decade or whatever it's been.
Close to, yeah.
Like, if you can't take that piece of a guy who's that good, who wants to be in Cleveland. He said multiple times he was happy to be in Cleveland. He wanted Cleveland to be successful, and you can't give him complete teams around him to have an opportunity at the championship. Getting rid of him isn't going to make that better.
It's a thing where you're right. If he was 3 years younger, I'd feel differently about this. But they got in getting Jared Verse, they got a younger guy who's not as productive as Garrett, no doubt about it, but he is under team control now, still on his rookie contract. They did get a first-round pick out of it as well. So I just don't think – I think that by the time the Browns – and I'm with you that they've made some stupid decisions clearly over the years.
And what have they ever done with a first-round pick?
No doubt, yes. They botched some of these things for sure, yes. But nonetheless, so I still think they're – even if they make right decisions now, let's say they start making smart decisions as soon as Watson's off the books, okay? You're still looking at a couple years before they're competing, and Garrett then is 2 years older. And it's he's not going to be we talked about this with the basketball with Giannis stuff. I mean, sure, he could still be very productive, but he's not going to have that the future in front of him will be a lot shorter than the past behind him. And so, boy, that's a great one right there, Bodie. Write that one down, man. I just came off the top of my head. The future in front of him is much shorter than the past behind him.
I like that. That's
Thank
pretty good, Tito. Yeah.
We should go to break right now. We'll finish up the segment, though. But anyway.
I want to see that host in the net who wouldn't.
Exactly. So, right. But I think that by the time the Browns would be competing for championships or a championship or a winning record, whatever, before they would do that, though, I think that Garrett would be too old at that point. And so I don't have a problem with the move. And I hope Garrett gets a chance to play meaningful football.
So I hear that argument. I do think it's a careful calculation to make sure that you want to offload your stars, kind of like you said. When their future's a little bit short, it's going to be shorter than what their past has been.
You want to get the best than
value.
The future is shorter than the past by him. Let's get the phrasing right.
I think you even changed.
I did that time,
but I think trying to get the best value out of your stars without losing too many of their prime years. I agree with you that he's probably not going to go for a higher value 2 years later. But every year he's been consistent. Yeah. Every year, I would argue he's gotten better. And so maybe I think he'll continue to be a star for, like you said, 3 or 4 years because he takes such good care of his body. He's such a consummate professional. But I just don't see how it makes the Browns better by getting rid of him now. And I think Shedeur has a good future at the Browns. I don't know if they're going to keep trying to re-up quarterbacks or whatever. I don't think that's their issue right now. I do believe in Shedeur and his ability to develop into a franchise quarterback. But just having a star on the edge like that, it's such a cornerstone of your defense that you can build around when you can have that pressure coming off the edge every single snap. And it just blows my mind that they couldn't put something together. They didn't even have like a top 10 defense with Myles Garrett.
They were pretty strong.
Yeah, they were strong last year. Yeah, but what it reminds me of though is Michael, is the way that the Cavs kind of were with LeBron.
Yeah,
where LeBron was so good, and even Jordan with the Bulls for a while before they got Pippen and Grant in there. But like you had these elite talents that the franchises, the organizations, never put it together around them. Mm-hmm. And that's why when LeBron left, it was like, oh, he's chasing a ring because they're not drafting Pippen and Grant in Cleveland. They got Antoine Jameson in a fat shack.
Why didn't they just do that?
Right, just
why
do that.
Why didn't they just go get the next Scottie Pippen?
Why not just do that? Right, that was my advice to that the Reds president. We were at a Reds Fest. So I said, look, how about this? Just trade players that aren't that good for players that are really good. It's real simple. But so I look at the Garrett situation kind of the same way that I don't. Regardless of what happened before, like the Browns, they did not do a good job putting talent around Garrett. They did not put a talent around. And I see no reason to have confidence in the next 3 years they will. And so, like, that's why I'm like, just do right by the guy. And Garrett, I know Garrett said he wanted to stay in Cleveland, but, remember Garrett.
No, he didn't.
Garrett wanted out of Cleveland until they paid him more.
Yeah,
like Garrett's,
that'll do it.
Deshaun Watson wanted no part of Cleveland until they gave him all that guaranteed money. Then Deshaun was like, you know what? I think I do like Cleveland more than Atlanta.
That's all posturing too. He says, "Oh, I want out of Cleveland because a contract's coming up."
Right.
That's how you get more money, is saying you need to incentivize me to stay here. But he's a superstar.
Yeah,
he could have left whenever he felt like he could have fled, to L.A. or Miami or wherever he wanted to. But he chose to stay here for a solid decade. So he had to a certain extent, enjoy his time in Cleveland to do that.
He, like the Joe Thomas thing, like there's certain guys that, and you mentioned, you talk about guys that never won a title. Dan Marino, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, guys like that. All these guys that never, ever won a title. Phillip Rivers, guys like that never won a title. And that's been the one thing on their resume that is the one negative on there. And it feels like, though, Thomas is on that list now. Joe Thomas, how good he was, and all the consecutive snaps he played and all that. And he bled out there. And I don't want to see Garrett on that list. Garrett is really damn good.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I am very happy as a Steelers fan that he's no longer in the AFC North. That's a good thing for me. But the Browns, though, I think, though, the Shedeur Sanders thing that you mentioned is Sanders is still very polarizing, because you'll get people, you've said you think he could still develop and be a franchise quarterback, and there's a lot of people that would say, as many people that say that, there's an equal number of people, maybe more, that would say there's no way in hell he's going to do that. And if they believe if you think that Shedeur Sanders could be, then I don't know why the Browns aren't going to play him more this year, at least at the start of the season even. Like, give him that chance to go out there with these new receivers and an improved offensive line in a healthy running back situation over Deshaun Watson, who's going to walk after this year.
Ownership is stupid. And because they put so much money into Deshaun. I saw one of my former teammates, Duran Grant, talking about it on a podcast. It's not, you think of the NFL as a meritocracy. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the most pure meritocracies in the world right now. And yet, if they give you money, you will play. If you're not as good as the guy behind, or the guy behind you is better than you, but he's making $800,000 and you're making $25 million, you will play. And that's the case with Deshaun. Is what's he going to be making this year? Like $50 million, $40 million, something outrageous. And they're going to sit him on the bench because Shedeur has more potential. They don't have a vision for the future. They want to get their money's worth. They might be praying he gets hurt or something like that. I think from what you saw in Shedeur's first season, definitely he wasn't Peyton Manning or Tom Brady as a rookie, but he showed poise under pressure. He showed that he has an ability to make throws. Yeah, he's got to get better at decision making. He's got to get better at dissecting defenses. He's got to get better at a whole litany of stuff. But I thought that he showed that he had potential to be a franchise quarterback. Who knows what ends up happening? If I was a Browns fan or a Browns owner, I'm not putting any weight on Deshaun. I'm not putting any weight on, I've already forgotten the other dude's name. Like
Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel.
There we go.
He is not in the equation to me. I don't think any Browns fan could sit there honestly and tell you, oh, yeah, I would rather have Dylan Gabriel as my starting quarterback than Shedeur Sanders.
No chance.
Like, you don't have to like Shedeur Sanders to recognize he's a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. And you don't have to like Shedeur Sanders to recognize Deshaun Watson got 60 cases on him. Like what are we talking about?
So far.
So far, yeah. We don't even know what's happening in Cleveland.
Exactly,
That man might be tearing through the city. So I'm betting on Shedeur.
You almost said you bet on Deshaun. I was going to say, Michael, don't have that take off the air. We can talk about it, but if you're being fired Deshaun, don't do it.
I was getting fired up. I'm betting on Shedeur. And, who knows, maybe 3 years down the road, the Browns there's some superstar quarterbacks coming up in the draft, and they want to take another chance. Maybe that happens. But I think for your next 3 years, Shedeur's your best bet. I agree with you that they're going to probably start Deshaun this year at least. And then if they don't wash their hands of him, I think maybe it was on a show with you a couple months ago, we talked about, do you think the Cleveland Browns would re-up Deshaun's contract? That would be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
What if it led to the AFC Championship game? Then would you re-up? Okay, AFC Championship. If they do that, then what do you do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would, once again, kick him to the curb, let some other team, deal with that. Go tear through New York as Deshaun the Ripper, whatever. But I think you put your money on Shedeur, because even with, like, all of his controversy is just that he's flashy. Just that he's confident. Like, just that I think the biggest thing that I didn't like was that his dad wanted to be involved in everything. That was my biggest knock against the guy. I don't really care that Shedeur was rich growing up. I don't care that he wears chains or that he has self-confidence. My mind was, all right, if we bring this guy to the team, how often am I going to have to hear Dion talking trash about my head coach, talking trash about my program because his son had a bad game? How often is he going to be rolling up into practices and just taking the limelight and all that kind of stuff? It's the whole Tim Tebow thing where it's you don't want to create distractions on your team. And it felt like Shedeur brought a circus. But I don't think that's necessarily Shedeur's fault.
So, yeah, that's a lot of it though. Is also, I mean, there's a lot of things about Shedeur. The first of all, the fact he's Dion's son, and then say what you want, but when the draft stuff happened, because the draft was spread out over 3 days, there was a long news cycle each day on it. You're like, first day, Shedeur made it to day 2. Oh, Shadeur's going to day 3.
Yeah.
And then during day 3, it's like, oh, Shedeur didn't make the 4th round. Oh,
they almost killed Mel Kiper.
Oh yes, I know, right? That was
poor Mel was saying, somebody take this kid, please.
For the draft, I thought Shedeur and Dion made a mistake thinking Shedeur was at Lamar Jackson's level.
Yeah.
Shedeur was a first round pick. He was not a unanimous first overall pick where you're just like, this guy is going to change the face of our franchise. And they were conducting themselves as if he was talking about, oh, he's not going to go play at that team.
Right.
Oh, who are you to tell my son? Like, whoa.
Yeah.
This guy's good. He's talented. He's got promise. Probably one of the best 2 or 3 quarterbacks in that draft. But you guys are just disrespecting the league left and right.
Luck if you're going to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Coming out where it's like, this guy's
Eli
bust
did.
proof.
Yeah. Well, Eli said,
and
I'm
even
not.
Eli was like
little
had the
weird
power
with that,
of the family maybe more
Right.
so than it's just pure talent.
Yeah. So it just, he definitely not a 5th rounder. I think I was surprised. I thought they were going to punish him and take him sometime in the 3rd. Him dropping to the 5th was definitely, that was some collusion stuff, but I think that they just really overestimated how good they thought they meaning Shedeur and his dad.
Yeah.
They overestimated how good he was and just started just disrespecting everybody. And so, all right, he goes in the 5th round, but once he goes in the 5th round, don't be confused and think this guy's 5th round talent. That was clearly just a punishment. He's got 1st round talent and he's going to be successful. It's just, is he going to be successful on the level of, one of the top 15 quarterbacks? Or is he going to be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL?
This is such a minor thing I'm about to say, but I think it would change things a little bit about the narrative around Shedeur. If the Browns had taken Shedeur in the 3rd round,
100%,
and taken Dylan Gabriel in the 5th round, because Gabriel was drafted way too early,
that would have made so much more sense.
I think if all of a sudden we're talking about 3rd round Shedeur Sanders, and then it's like you've got to give him more time.
Yeah.
But because he's 5th round Shedeur Sanders, it's like, look, he's a 5th round. 5th round quarterbacks don't make it in the NFL.
Yep.
And so it's easier to say, you know what, he's a 5th round pick. Why are they investing so much in him? But if he's a 2nd, 3rd, or 2nd or 3rd round pick, and specifically a 3rd round pick in this case, in this exercise, you might say, you know what, yeah, but he's a 3rd round talent. We're not just going to throw, which is why Gabriel's still on the team.
Yeah,
because it's 3rd round pick. Gabriel should not be on the team. Right.
Yeah.
It's also too much draft capital they spend on him. They spend a 3rd round pick. You don't cut 3rd round picks, especially quarterbacks, that quickly.
Yeah.
And so you can look at other quarterbacks that got drafted that year, Quinn Ewers, where he got drafted and things like that. And it's like if you're picked in the 5th or 6th or 7th round, it's easier to say, you know what, no, this guy's not the guy and we know it already. But if you're a 3rd round pick, it's like, well, let's tap the brakes. We used a high draft pick. 3rd round is where starters come from. So
100%.
Yeah.
And until he reaches a point where he is like clearly starting level and whatnot,
right,
we just don't need to hear from Dion.
Yeah, I'm with
like,
that. Yeah.
He needs to get out of his way.
Yes,
he needs to get out of his way.
It's not going to help any.
Yeah.
And if he ends up being a really good starting quarterback, say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Right now, maybe not right now, I should say, but a handful of years ago, if Tom Brady's dad was out there talking trash on social media and going on First Take with Stephen A., everybody would be like, oh, yeah, he is Tom Brady. He's pretty good. And Shedeur, I don't think he's going to win 7 Super Bowls, but if he gets to a point where he's playing at a high level, people will kind of roll your eyes at Dion.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be people who don't like him. And he maybe brings some of that on himself a little bit because he's a rather confident individual, we'll say. But if Shedeur's playing well, nobody will care.
But that's one of the things about taking him 5th round is like you said, if Deion decides to become a problem for a team, we'll just cut your kid.
Yeah,
because
we don't need
like you said,
this.
they haven't put as much money into him.
Yeah.
Everything
Right.
to your points, Deion doesn't have as much power as he would have had if Shedeur went first round, top 10 pick. Deion would have been a problem.
Oh, yeah,
he would have been a problem. He'd be rolling up into practices,
Yeah.
talking trash about head coaches, questioning ownership, all that kind of stuff. The NFL does not like that. They like their power, they like their control, and they don't like their distractions. And so I really think him going so late had nothing to do with his ability. It had everything to do with putting the brakes on Deion specifically and forcing Shedeur to perform and probably trying to kill his confidence a little bit. But I don't think it's really fazed him too much. It's just whether these NFL teams decide to give him a chance.
I'd go all in and I'd go out and try to sign LaMelo Ball as a kick return specialist. Get the Ball family involved, the Sanders family involved. Let's do the whole thing.
He would take one shot to the ribs and just explode into dust.
Let's get a reality show going here with this right here. See which families could be, see which dads could be more overbearing. Coming up next, Vocal Taters, guys. Juiced, Morning Juiced.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
Knee pain's something I lived with since the big game, and I'm all over surgeries. That's how I found QC Kinetics. I was able to get in, see the doctors, do the treatment, and get my knee feeling basically brand new. I can work out, run, most importantly, chase my son around the house and the yard, and do my job without any pain.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
Bobby is known as the General. Tito shops at Dollar General. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Bodion's picked up on that, but the last tease, I said, coming up next, folk, like we have one listener.
Folk.
And I want to make sure I'm not underselling the listenership that we have.
Yeah, 6 of them.
Folks. Yes, there's multiple listeners on that one. Before we get to what's got you juiced, 11 Warriors reported this, that Caleb Downs and Joy Dunn, Caleb Downs and Joy Dunn were named Ohio State's Athletes of the Year. Caleb Downs, obviously had the fantastic year for Ohio State football in the NFL draft now for Bodie's Dallas Cowboys. By the way, Bodie put the show sheet together, and just like when I mentioned about Jacob Reimer, always finds a way to put North Carolina in the conversation. If Bodie has a chance to put a Dallas or Notre Dame story into this, he will do it. This is Ohio State. He's going to disguise it that way, but whatever. I'm not going to mention it. Let that one go. But then Joy Dunn, who on the women's hockey team, and the award recognizes their impact on the field and off the field, or on the ice, I guess it would be, in the locker rooms in 2025-26. So good for them on that one. The women's hockey team is amazing at Ohio State. It really is. They've done such a fantastic job there. Dunn had 51 points, 27 goals for Ohio State's national runner-up team last year. Also helped Team USA win Olympic gold, which was good. And
play for.
Yeah, right. The second player in program history to lead Ohio State in scoring 3 straight seasons, and she was the youngest member of the Olympic squad. So,
wow,
good for them. Bodie, let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
That damn pause gets us every time, Bodie.
I know, and I think that's just how the system is kind of like set up. It sort of like resets itself a little bit. But
right.
Yeah, every time I press it and I look at it, I'm like, is it going to fire?
Yeah, I know.
I hit it. I'm pretty sure I hit it. But let's Tuesday, let's hear from Mr. Anthony Schlegel first up here.
The game is still gap control, pace angles. What are they trying to do? Anticipation, trust your eyes and your study. Like, that never changes. I think the thing that has changed is that coaches have gotten better at adjusting to their personnel versus the scheme only.
That wasn't fun Schlegs.
That was very serious Schlegs.
I learned something.
Yeah, Coach Schlegs.
I heard him on a radio show a couple years ago. It would have been like he was doing a hit, and he sounded so much different. He was locked in, like, as far as it sounded kind of like that, where he was like breaking down game film and stuff, and it was just like I kept waiting for him to say to say something, make an inappropriate comment. And he never did.
Yeah, just add an S to a word that doesn't actually have an S
Illinois.
On it. All right, guys, got a few things for you here. First up, juice to be off tomorrow, if I'm being honest. Got a lot of PTO. We're getting burnt up here before we fully dive into football season, Tito. So I will be off tomorrow. Excited to watch the draft tonight. I did not plan those two things together. I honestly did not realize the draft was tonight until just a couple of days ago. I'm like, hey, I'm off Wednesday. That's a nice little double dip there. And then last but not least, I will say most mornings when I drive in that 3:30 to 4 o'clock window, pretty boring. Not a lot of people out there, so I'm just kind of cruising along. And this morning I was on 670 coming in from the east side, and right as I was getting into downtown, and all of a sudden I looked in my rear view mirror and saw a police cruiser coming up, and he was like coming quick, so I started to like slowly get over. Then I saw another one coming. I was like, oh, man, they're hot on the trail for something. And then a car that I didn't see until the last second because they didn't have their headlights on flew by me. And I was like, dude, like, aren't you going to get over for the cops? Oh, no. They were chasing that
guy?
Person, girl, guy, I don't really know. But they were flying. And then 3, 4, 5 more went by me. Probably in total 5 or 6 cruisers went by as I had stayed on 670 to come into downtown. They went 71 north. So he was.
What kind of life are you living to be in a high-speed chase on a Tuesday morning?
It's just the whole thing was like pretty jarring. Never really seen that happen before. I do appreciate the guy. As I was getting over, he came up on me pretty quick, but he got over in the fast lane as I went to the slow lane to get over for the cruisers. So I appreciate him not taking me out in the process because I didn't need that. That wouldn't have been good for anybody.
The show wouldn't happen today. I'll tell you that much.
It would have been an interesting morning.
Hey, Reimer,
sure,
come over here. Yeah,
I'm glad to live to tell the story, and it can be a 2-second, like, oh, can you believe this happened? Not like, yeah, I'm in the hospital, and by the way, my car is absolutely totaled. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
That kind of was a little jarring to see. Like I said, most mornings I can probably count on one hand the number of vehicles I see, and this morning I saw half a dozen cruisers chasing some guy up I-71. So that was pretty exciting there. But that's what has me juiced on this Tuesday. Mike, what has you juiced, sir?
We are in the throes of the World Cup. I love the World Cup, and it's been incredible performances so far. Yesterday, I thought was just it's wild to me. I've seen a couple World Cups, and this year the stars are just shining more so than I think I've seen in the past. You've got Messi already has 5 this World Cup, Mbappe has 4, Haaland has 4, Harry Kane I think had 2 in his first game. You're seeing all the guys that you want to watch have incredible performances. Messi has taken the title for most World Cup goals.
Yeah, I did see that.
Mbappe's hot on his heels with 16. Messi is 18. Mbappe is 16. Haaland, this is his first World Cup and has scored 2 goals in 2 goals each for his first 2 games. It's incredible to watch these games. You've got Ronaldo coming up today. You got Harry Kane coming up today with England. You've got Croatia, I think, is playing later today. It's just all of these games that all these teams that like the favorites that everybody's looking out for have not disappointed. And then you're also getting to see some just hard-fought duels with teams that are tiny, like Cape Verde or Curacao, or even Iran's having a good performance. I don't think they've won a game, but they haven't lost a game. Just these smaller teams that you don't think would really have much of an opportunity are really just performing well and providing great games. So I love the World Cup. I'm going to keep being tuned into the World Cup, and I'm excited to see what we got going on today. I think Harry Kane will probably have another 2 because I don't think he's going to let these other guys outpace him.
Let's see. Hall of Fame chatter, Emily's on vacation, and she's listening to the show still, and she informed us in the chat that there's a group, everyone else in the group was still awake from last night. I think they're on the East Coast somewhere, so it's not like they're out, somewhere it might be 3 hours earlier or something.
I go to parties sometimes till 4.
Right. And I told her,
leave when you can't find the door.
I told her I appreciate that. And I said, because I know, like me being 55, I know, what it takes out of you. And she said they're all between the ages of like 48 and 59.
Nice.
And they're all still up from the night before. And I said, that's wonderful to do, but you lose a day vacation after that because you do have – it's not like all of a sudden you say, I'll sleep for a couple hours. You don't take power naps. No, you don't do that. That's what you do on that one. World Cup's got me excited too about that. And as I do my other job from home and I have World Cup on, then I'm watching that and checking out all of that action. That's a lot of fun to do. I have a greater appreciation. Every 4 years I get a greater appreciation for soccer. But now the problem is for my 9.5-year-old son, when he starts soccer again in the fall, how much my expectations now are going to be so much higher for his team. And I'm like, be patient. Just wait, just be patient.
Pass the ball around.
Let the play develop. Kick it back to the goalie. No, you never kick it back to the goalie. Not at this level, you don't. It's like but I will certainly have more expectations, and I'll sound smarter.
There you go.
Hey, what's the shape? Where's the shape? Things like that. We going to do a 3-3-4. We only have 7 guys on the field. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to do a 3-3-4.
Fine, 3 more.
Someone else do the math.
Right. Yeah, someone else do that. But I'll give us suggestions to the coach as well, which always goes well.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, hey.
I've heard that if you're louder, they appreciate it more.
They do.
You just got to be a little more aggressive. That's what coaches respond to.
The more obnoxious you are.
Yeah. I got in a little trouble last year because they actually sent an email out because of me to the league parents, because I don't like standing with all the other parents. Like I stand out a little bit because I get a little bit intense, and I don't yell, but I'm just like, I don't want to be around other people that much. And so like I
don't whisper.
My kid was on defense, and so like I gravitated down, and I was like on the corner, but out a little bit, but it's on the opposing team's like parental side, and there's some old guy there who just keeps looking over me and like glaring, and he'll put like the arms up. He looks at me and goes like this to me, and puts his arms up like what are you doing? And so eventually we got an email there. Like I never confronted the guy, although I wanted to. I could have taken him. He was a lot older than me. I know. But I got an email out saying, hey, parents, stay on your parental side. Stay on your team side. So that's it for us. Thanks so much, Morning Juice. Thank you, Michael. We're back tomorrow.